What's up, y'all? Um, just sitting here in the morning, doing my coffee, getting my wake and bake going. This is always when I'm like super thoughtful and processing whatever the fuck happened the night before, the day before, or whatever. So I figured this might be a good time to like just capture some of the thoughts that I'm having as I process what went on the night before. So maybe I'll start doing like a fucking, coffee and pot series or something where I just get at you in the morning and just sum up everything that I'm feeling from the night before or whatever. Anyways, it's just been crazy. We got stuff popping off all over the country, um, which is unreal. But a lot of us have been telling y'all for a long time that this system is bound to eat itself. It's a lot more than George's death. There's all sorts of systemic inequalities that are bubbling up to the surface now, and we're going to watch that play out on a national scale. So that'll be exciting. Buckle in. Real quick, before I get on to like my main chunk of shit that I gotta vomit up for you, do a quick music bump if you are just feeling like I'm feeling today. You might put on Gas Pump Talent. That's the local band that hasn't been active for a few years, but they've got this EP that is so good, and you will feel so. It's really good. It's really relevant for the time. So Gas Pump Talent. And my homies in Sky Falls Down just released a new album, A Match to Start a Fire, and it's so clean and polished and dope. You gotta go listen to that too. If you're looking for a decent national name to listen to and bump for the day, my serious and strong recommendation is Tom Morello and the Night Watchman. Go put on the One Man Revolution album, listen to it from cover to cover, and listen to what Tom's saying. And and this is a 10-year-old album, and it is so relevant. So, and which kind of leads to the point that I want to make today is that, this shit ain't new. It's not just this, oh my gosh, can you believe it? This shit just popped off and it came out of nowhere. No. It's been happening. It's been happening for decades. They've been begging for help for decades. And literally right now, like, they're dying to be heard. So we gotta hear them. So those are my music bumps. Last night I found this really cool collective called the Black Visions Collective. They're based out of Minneapolis. They're a black-led queer and trans-centering organization whose mission is to organize powerful black communities and dismantle systems of violence. I donated $15 to them because that's what I could afford. I ain't exactly, rolling in it, but I'll put the link up on this post or on a separate post or somewhere. I'll have the link. I'm new at this shit. I'll give you a link to get to their page if you want to go support them. I think that would be a righteous way to spend $5 or $10 today. The Black Visions Collective. So, here's what I keep seeing. How is this helping? How is the rioting and looting helping them? Helping their cause? Helping them achieve systemic change? It's not. They've been begging for your help. They've been begging. Again, this album, One Man Revolution, is over 10 years old, and the things that Tom is singing about in that album were old when he was a baby. They've been begging for decades. You refuse to listen. And I mean the royal you, all of us, the royal us. We refuse to listen, and this is the result. Like, you talk about moderation and all this shit. Like, we had our chance to work with moderates. White supremacy killed Dr. King. And so we don't get to work with him no more. because we couldn't dismantle those systems of violence like the Black Visions Collective wants to do on their behalf. So he got killed, and so we don't get to work with him anymore. Cap was taking a knee for all this shit. Like, there's literally been, in the intervening decades between the civil rights movement and now, there's been dozens and dozens, countless moderate voices begging for help, begging for you, the collective us, to help them get legislation passed and get systemic change happening, like start, really reducing the level of racial profiling and, black over incarceration and, obviously police brutality on people of color. Like, they've been begging for it. We've had no end of moderate voices trying to get us to help them get this shit figured out. And our collective response was to plug our ears and say, no, all lives matter. They're literally dying to get you to acknowledge that fucking black lives matter. And you can't do it. You can't give them the space. So they said, okay, well, the moderates aren't getting the job done. So fuck it. Right? Everybody's all clucking and tisking and, giving stern disapproval about their tactics. They don't fucking need your approval. They didn't ask for it. They don't want it. In fact, your disapproval is a big part of the point. This whole fucking deal is a resistance to your disapproval. And really, honestly, like, how is this helping? How is what they're doing helping achieve systemic change? You know what? Like, at this point, the system has completely failed them. So they're not working to achieve systemic change. At least not the ones that are out in the streets at night. They're not working to change the system. They're trying to fucking burn it down because it failed them completely. The burden of achieving systemic change is no longer on those people in those communities. It's on us. It's on us to make that fucking change because we have all the fucking institutionalized power. Like, we need to use our privilege and our position and make that change for them. And you know what? We better do it fucking quick. With a quickness. Because they're not trying to change the system. They're trying to burn it down. Rightfully so. They built it. Like, slave labor built this system. Exploitation built this system. And it continues to export value from those communities for gross consumption. So they're no longer trying to work within the system to achieve change. They're trying to fucking dismantle it. And, I can't say I blame them. So if we want to achieve that systemic change that is actually going to relieve these burdens from those communities, it's on us, and we need to do it with a quickness. Like yesterday. 4 officers, all 4 should have been jailed. Medical examiner, crook medical examiner coming out saying, oh, well, he was choked for 9 minutes, but he just so happened to die of a heart attack right at 9 minutes. Like, the system has never and will never help them. It's on us to make that change. Because if we don't change it with a quickness, then it's gonna burn down. So that's what I think about it. And I don't know, hopefully we can do something about it. Today there is a protest here in Springfield, Missouri at 3 p.m. on Battlefield and Glenstone. And you know what, like, I haven't necessarily been super active in the activist circles in the last several years. I mellowed out. I started doing the dad thing. I started, like, actually doing well at, what I do, and I got really into the music side of the scene. But one thing that's been persistent all these years within our local activist scenes is that there's so much fucking infighting, and it's stupid. It's so stupid. Just whatever. There's already like people infighting. I guess the organizer of this protest said or did something that was dumb in 2013, and people are mad about it and whatever. Who gives a fuck about the infighting? I don't know who the organizer is, and I don't care. If there's going to be a bunch of people on the street showing solidarity, I'm going to go there, and I'm also going to show solidarity regardless of who the fuck organized it or, what they said in 2013. Like, they don't matter. They literally just created an event page, right? Like, that's it. That's all they did. And so now I'm going to go to the place where they said to go because that's where other people are going to be. And we should all go to there and be there regardless, and go let our voice be heard. We should do it safely. We should wear some masks, take some sanitizer with us, take some bottled water with us, remember to hydrate, but we should all just go and be there to help support what's going on all over the world. At least all over the country. So anyways, that's it for today. Listen to Gas Pump Talent. Listen to Sky Falls Down. Put on One Man Revolution by Tom Morello, the Night Watchman, and just fucking jam it. Donate to the Black Visions Collective. Support them, because they're on the ground in Minneapolis right now trying to dismantle those systems of violence from a position that, they have an authenticity and a legit right to hold this position and to dismantle those systems, and we need to help them however we can, so we should go help them, because that's what will help. Saying, how is this helping? It doesn't fucking help. But one thing it does do is let us know that you acknowledge that they need help. You acknowledge that systemic change needs to occur when you say, oh, how is this helping? You've come right out and acknowledged now that change needs to happen. And whether it is by the pen or whether it's by the sword, I think largely depends on what happens in the next couple days. So we'll see. Hopefully I'll see you guys today out at 3 p.m. Battlefield in Glenstone. Let's just do it. I love you, and we'll see you later.